What moment in your life did you realize your life wouldn't be the same? When I was 30 on my birthday, we all went surfing and I tweaked my knee, my body was ripped, and thought, I am going downhill. Now at 54, I wish that was my only problem. Live in your moment, literally every day. Yes, you need to make money to live, but you have to enjoy now. When you get old, you have the money to be great, but your body can't do it. Find your group. I found mine in tennis, and it's like I feel 10 years younger. Good luck. When he told me a girl who had red hair deep-throated him and how amazing and got it was. He begged for an open relationship and then told me how he also cheated on me and even paid to have a blowjob and fucked a girl on her period. Made me so insecure about myself and hated that I never made him feel that good. I also stayed with him because I thought he was the best I could get. We broke up a few months back and I'm doing better. When my brother died of cancer at 21. Not only is the loss so significant that life without them will never be the same, but your whole perspective on life changes. 14-year-old me realized that death could come at any time no matter your age. I'm trying my best to live life to the fullest and never take it for granted, but I can be hard at times. When my son was diagnosed with muscular dystrophy, once I got past the Wikipedia nightmares and crying incessantly, I realized we better get living because time doesn't give a fuck. When I saw the B-52s do Rock Lobster on TV in the late 70s, my entire world exploded. When I left my home and left my job and my parents sold the house I lived in for 24 years. I moved in with my partner I'd only known for less than a year and my parents traveled further away. Been with my partner since, but it was a huge change for me. I'm in my third year of college and I went home for Thanksgiving. And it just felt like I don't fully fit in at my parents' house anymore. Like, they're still my parents and I love them and I enjoyed being with them, but it no longer felt like home. When I got on the airplane to Chicago for my first day of job. I travel for work each week and that was how it all started. I remember the thrill of packing up and going through the security at the airport. Now it's just part of my job. When I went to the psych ward after telling my foster mother I was suicidal. Never went back to that home when I got checked and now I'm 2 states away living in student housing with my boyfriend. Blessing in disguise. When I was told, at age 20, that I had a mostly untreatable, incurable illness that I would be living with the rest of my life, 50 years later there is still no cure and no treatment that actually works. It was the 3rd day I was in the hospital and they were telling me what I now had, and how I had to live with it the rest of my life. It really didn't fully sink in until the next day when I was taking a shower. When I was diagnosed with severe ADHD at 10. Thinking I knew I was different. Then coming home from that appointment my mom got a call that dad suffered a heart attack and died. Was rough for a while. Oh, it was that defining moment when I landed my dream job that hit me like a lightning bolt. I knew right then and there that life was about to take an exhilarating turn for the better. The day of my divorce. I've been doing my best to drink myself to death since then. But, that's harder than you think. 13 years and counting. I'm getting bored of drinking. When I sobered up and saw with absolute clarity the life around me. I still have a casual drink here and there, but it is 100 no longer my priority. I live to party. When I joined the military in a foreign country and moved in with a girl I met on Tinder that ended horribly, that's when I experienced true anxiety for the first time. When I was 16 I was in a pretty terrible accident. When I woke up and saw my legs all mangled and everything I knew it would never be the same. And it hasn't. When I had to move on from a place I called home and most of my belief system was shaken up by a series of unfortunate events. I haven't been the same since. When life gave me a chance to live for second time. Wish I wouldn't get a second chance and I hope there is no third chance. I'm not to live among people. When my mother died. It was an incredibly toxic relationship and I felt more guilt over the relief I felt than the actual grief over her passing. The first time I saw my at the time a stray puppy. She's the goodest girl ever, and the best thing to ever happen to me and my wife, Heart. While driving home from a swim comp and at the same time casually planning out how to fit filming a toe-sucking video in before dinner, when my cat died along with my ball python dying a few months later. Been depressed ever since. I simply don't care about much anymore. When I came home a few days earlier than after my deployment and found an extra pair of shoes I didn't recognize at my doorstep. When the doctor said it's cancer but I had already started crying. I knew somehow. That was 5 years ago. I'm still here. When I got that 4 a.m. phone call no one ever wants to get. 3 years ago this December. Pretty much a living hell since that night. The day I broke my back. I recovered and it got a bit better, but now I have chronic back pain that will never go away. When my health took a drastic turn, I'm still living, but it definitely takes a toll in many aspects of my life." She told me that she had slept with someone else, the most distasteful, objectionable person you can imagine. "I found out my husband was cheating 6 weeks ago. He moved out 2 weeks ago. Now I'm alone." When I found my mother's dead body lying in her bed on a Sunday morning in March of 2009, the minute after I got a call after an interview telling me I got a job in my field. Last year, to the day actually, my wife took a pregnancy test and it was positive. The first time I ejaculated when I masturbated, now I have to clean up. When my son's mother died and I became a full-time parent, she had custody. The day that I met Crystal, I knew that nothing would ever be the same. Hard. When the 8-year-old boy disappeared from my headlights with a sick thump. The minute our bus pulled into Paris Island, South Carolina at 3 a.m. When I gave birth to a child. Nothing is ever the same after that. After the breakup and when she told me that I'm gonna be a father. When I found out my son had a disability and when my dad died. When I left my home for the first time at the age of 21. When I caught my mother with a heroin needle in her arm. The moment I woke up from my first surgery 9 years ago. Discovering masturbation. Discovering you are pregnant. When I heard my baby's heartbeat for the first time.